What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Afrojoe, P. I'm Motor Plucking. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my other channel, my gaming channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, TikTok, my fan page, my group page. Uh, just hit that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. Show your love and support. Thank you. Tonight I want to talk about Logan Paul again and CoffeeZilla. Thank you, CoffeeZilla, for bringing this back out. Over the last several years, I know y'all gonna be saying, "Oh, you're obsessed." No, I'm not obsessed. It's just the simple fact is he continues to do this and get away with a lot of things, and he doesn't get punished. When he did in the forest, I thought it was tasteless. I thought it was messed up. What he got slapped on the wrist, demonetized for a month, and went back at it and made money. Now he has scammed people out of money, ain't been punished, still getting paid, ain't gave back no, ain't gave nobody money back. 6 months go by, still ain't gave nobody their money back. CoffeeZilla has reported on this and told y'all what's up. I've talked about Logan Paul for years, and nobody listens. Problem is, we need to stop talking about it and do something about it. I'm not talking about put your palms on them, or make them perish. I mean, we need to lock these people up. If Logan Paul can sit here and scam people out their money and scam over $1 million out of people, over that, now he ain't scammed $1 million from one person. He scammed thousands of dollars from people and made $1 million off of it and ain't gave nobody back. That's federal theft. That is a federal crime. And nobody's done nothing. Nobody has brought this to the federal DA, the DA's office of the federal courts, or brought this to a federal judge. Nothing. Why? Why are we letting this man scam people out of thousands of dollars and not do nothing about it? Well, I'm going to play CoffeeZilla's video, and I'm going to let y'all see what he had to say. Because I'm talked about this for years and nobody's listening. It falls on deaf ears. Here we go.
I investigated CryptoZoo, a scam created by Logan Paul and a team of criminals. Oh, and a dude named Jeff, which ultimately resulted in millions of dollars being stolen from fans. I was threatened with a lawsuit for exposing it, but ultimately, Logan Paul decided to thank me instead for his public undressing and announced a $1.8 million refund to the victims. Now, I thought that was a great ending to the story. But I also said this: I'll follow up in the future to make sure that he actually gives that money away, and that's why we're here today. It's been 6 months, so here's a follow-up. Logan Paul has not paid back his victims. He hasn't talked about it since he first announced he was going to pay them back, and what's worst of all, he doesn't seem to have a plan in place to refund anyone. How do I know that? Well, because I've been asking Logan for that plan to refund people the entire time behind the scenes in messages like these. Quote, "Hey Logan, following up on the zoo refunds, when should people expect those? It's been about a month." And then a month later, following up again. People are wondering what's going on. Almost been 2 months. Very frustrating for victims to get promises and then see nothing and get zero communication. And then later, "Hey Logan, following up for a third time, it's been over 5 months since you promised to refund the victims of CryptoZoo over $3 million. I meant to say $1.8 million there. The price of crypto changed a lot, so what this buyback was going to be was constantly changing. I just misspoke there. Either way, my point was this. Quote, "You haven't contacted any of them, nor explained why you haven't done what you said you'd do. Meanwhile, you got public credit for promising to do this." And all of this, Logan didn't respond to, which is odd since he was such a fan of me reaching out to him personally. Instead of making things public.
Maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me, personally. Not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven.
Well, I did reach out to you, and I got no response. In fact, the only response I got came on my 4th attempt to reach Logan, but this one came from his criminal defense lawyers. A guy named Jeffrey Neiman emailed me after my 4th attempt saying, "Steven, see inserted on behalf of Logan Paul." to be honest, I had no idea who Logan Paul was until I researched the lawyer and learned that he, quote, regularly defends individuals and corporations in white-collar criminal litigations. And that's when I realized, oh, that Logan Paul. Why didn't you just say you defended alleged white-collar criminals? Would have saved me a Google search. So I opened up the letter and it read, "We represent Logan Paul. Mr. Paul has informed us of your outreach about the status of the CryptoZoo buybacks. Mr. Paul remains committed to this process. We are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal. In the meantime, please direct to our attention any further inquiries to Mr. Paul. Thank you for your patience and understanding." Now, that might seem like a good step in the right direction to you. At least we got a response on behalf of Logan. But when I read their response carefully, I realized things were actually worse than I thought. Because two things are absent from this statement. One, a timeline for refunds, and two, a plan for refunds. I mean, you have this abominable statement which says, "We are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal." So you're still at the whiteboard then. Guys, this is a statement you say when you have no plan or you're stalling, right? You say, "We're evaluating the best options." I mean, that's where Logan was back in January. He was evaluating. Am I supposed to believe 6 months later, you guys haven't figured this out? You've gathered all the boys in the office, brainstorming every single day. How do we refund people? You don't know? I mean, listen, he had more of a plan, Logan did, back in January. I'm not even sure what there is to even still figure out, because way back then, January 16th, he said, "I've committed more than 1.8 million for those who do not want to wait for CryptoZoo to be completed. Players will be able to burn their base eggs and base animals for their mint price." I mean, there it is. That's the plan. Pay a blockchain dev to code that up and pay the victims their money. That's it. But we see absolutely no sign of that. And it's not for a lack of Logan having the cash. He's on a world tour for Prime right now, bragging about how much money his drink company is making.
In January of this year, we did 45 million.
Oh, wow. Only in January?
Yeah.
Wow, 45 million is a good month. Also, January happens to be the same month Logan promised those CryptoZoo refunds. So there's no good explanation for why Logan hasn't refunded his victims yet, because he had a plan back in January, he had the money, but there's even less of a good explanation for why he hasn't explained himself for the delay to either me privately or to the victims publicly, who are just waiting around for months with no word about the status of their promised refund. Now, eventually, I do believe Logan will address this. I think he has to. And when he does, I think he'll probably point to a lawsuit that he's in for the reason he couldn't speak. He had to be silent. Only he's tried this before, and it didn't make a lot of sense then either.
I had to rely on my team. I crumbled internally, and the advice was, while actual legal process was going on because of criminal investigation taking place, Coffeezilla highlighted in his series, I had to stay silent. And for a year, I'm hounding Jeff. How do we make this right?
All right, let's get this straight. Logan was dying to make CryptoZoo right the first time, but was legally required to be silent until a YouTuber talked about it? Did the judge magically unseal his lips when my video dropped? I'm confused. He's not prevented from explaining himself, and he's certainly not legally prevented from giving people their money back. Even if you want to argue the point that maybe Logan might look more guilty if he promises to pay victims, well, sure, but he already did that, though. He said he felt so bad that he was going to refund $1.8 million to the affected people who invested. But actually delivering that promise doesn't add any layer of admission to that guilt. He already said he was responsible. At this point, refunding people is just doing what he said he was going to do from the beginning. No, I think the real reason Logan hasn't paid, if I had to guess, is just because either he does not want to pay, he cannot be bothered to pay on time, or he's just stalling. All of which are unacceptable. Because let me remind you of his promise. Quote, I have committed more than $1.8 million for those who do not want to wait for CryptoZoo to be completed. That is what he said, and the people are tired of waiting, including me. After months of trying to work behind the scenes and ask questions behind the scenes privately to him, I'm just out of ideas, and I'm stuck trying to speak to Logan in the only language I believe he understands. Self-interest. Logan, if I could speak to you for a second. Okay, bring in the camera. This isn't worth your time. Getting publicly flogged like this every 6 months? What are we going to be doing this in a year? No. Okay? It's not worth your time. It's barely worth my time. Just please pay the people back what you owe. Give them a real timeline, a real plan, and then we can all go back to pretending you've changed.
And there you have it. Again, trying to explain to people Logan Paul is going to get away with it. He's getting sued. He's not going to pay none of these people back. He scammed people out of money. He's not facing federal charges because nobody's filing federal charges. And it takes YouTubers to say something to get people to notice he is breaking the law. He's breaking the law. And all y'all done is YouTube is taking up for him and everybody else is taking up for him. He broke the law. File paperwork, take his ass to jail. Quit babying him. He's a grown man, and all y'all doing is sit up there, say, "Oh, we did Yogi Paul, even though he's getting people out of money." What's next? What's next for Logan Paul? He gonna essay somebody? He gonna make somebody perish? Because all y'all done is protect people like Logan Paul, Colleen, Tasha Call, James Charles, and that's all y'all done. Is protect these people when they break the law. And y'all don't do nothing. Y'all don't even file charges. To me, if these people can break a law, that means I can break a law. If you say no, that's not right, you can't break a law, then why do they get to break a law? It's not fair. They can break the laws all day and night, but when it comes down to people like me and you, we can't break the law. Like, who's playing favorites with the laws? Who's playing favorites with the laws? Why do they get to break the laws, but I can't? Tell me what's up. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. Subscribe, share, and like. Hit that bell for notification, and tell me what you think.